Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kyalami. Talk you through my first qualifying lap now as we brake about 125 metres out, keeping it nice and tight to the apex, taking a bit of curve. Doesn't really matter what you do through here, the delta always seems to stay the same. Threading the needle through this fast chicane before a very satisfying left-hander. We managed to keep the power smooth through there, which is good. It's very easy to lose the back end and lose time. Heading towards the fast downhill right-hander. Very hard to know at what point you can floor it from, but we've done pretty well there. And now another satisfying corner, but we've not done it in a satisfying way. A bit squirmish on the power, a little bit of a slide mid-corner, but that's all fine. Threading the needle through here. Again, difficult to know when you can floor it, but we've used most of the track, which is always a good sign. Usually means you got it right. Before braking now for this hairpin, which seems to have like 4 different apexes, and it doesn't really matter which one you take either, but we've got a pretty decent line through there as we go downhill now towards this maybe flat left-hander. Can we keep it flat? No, just not quite. Tiny little bit of a lift as now we go for this difficult penultimate corner, which is the corner of death. Do we die? We do not die. Probably wouldn't be my best qualifying lap if I died, but the final corner now is an easier one, quite a nice breather before setting you up for an even bigger breather down the main straight. And we've done a 45.690, which was a pretty good lap for me. I was pretty happy with that. I don't think I had done much better than that, but it's only good enough for 12th on the grid out of 18, which was disappointing, especially considering I was just under 7/10 off pole. 12th place, that's a tight qualifying grid. Random punchline Roadhouse, only both within 3 hundredths of pole position, which was grabbed by RT93 Eli. So now on to the race start, and it's a green light and away we go. Trying now to make sure we don't get mugged off too many times before the first corner, but it looks like we have been. Really not good at those starts. Not sure what everyone else does, or if my reaction times are just awful, but keeping it cautious into turn 1. It's an hour and a half race, which yeah, you don't want to be involved in a collision and ruin it straight away. But managed to keep it nice and clean as 2 cars have gone off. That car that was just to our right, I think, spun off, and there was a car on the left off track. As behind us there's a little bit of death. A nice dose of death to start off the race for those two, as there might be more death just ahead of us if they're going side by side through here. Very risky, but they've managed to keep it clean. Have Michael and Rossant, and they're still side by side, but it looks like the Porsche's nose is just ahead, and it is. It holds position there. Nice bit of battling through between those two. I certainly don't want to be involved in any of that. Not yet anyway. As the Ferrari actually goes wide there, can we make a move into the hairpin? We're closing in. Just not going to be quite close enough, are we? And no, we're not. We cool off into the braking zone there to make sure there's no contact. They're nearly running to the back of it anyway. But another car off track there, J-Mott, who spins and comes out just behind us, which is another position. So we've actually climbed 2 positions just by virtue of not dying, which is always encouraging, because I didn't feel like my potential for death was that high. As we now watch the battle between the Bentley of Danny Boy and I believe that's Leroy just ahead of us. You can see us in the background there, and they're coming towards the final corner, and Leroy's actually gone for a move up the inside, and there's a little bit of contact, but he's forced his way through. Lovely move into the final corner from Leroy there. Very nicely done. As now we observe us. The Wetmobile, the Lexus, sorry, goes for a move up the inside, and yep, he's got loads of grip, but I don't, so yep, no point even fighting that one. But now as we come through the left-hander, we've pooped in our pants for some reason and gone wide, and that's allowed Rico through, Rico, I didn't want to be stuck behind it. I felt like I had a pace advantage over him, so that was a disappointing mistake to make. Very difficult to overtake on this game, as I'm finding out more and more each race, but we now go on board with Ferrari, who was just ahead of us. I believe this is Michael on board, watching the battle between the Bentley and the Porsche continue into the hairpin, still side by side, and still the Porsche is going to come out on top, is he? Oh, it's pretty even heading into the fast left. This could end in absolute tears, but the Porsche slots in behind, gets a bit of the curb, and now Michael is going to go for the move around the outside. Can he make that stick? Surely not, but he's still there. They're still side by side with the Lexus just in the background, poking his nose in as they go side by side for the penultimate corner, and death must happen. It does happen. Death. Lovely bit of death. And that's another couple of positions for us. I suppose neither of them are going to back out of that, but at some point, side by side for the penultimate corner just can't seem like that good of an idea. But here we are now, following Rico. Still stuck behind him with 20 minutes of the race gone, which, as I said, was frustrating. See, we're not pushing on the back of him too much, but we're just constantly at this sort of 3/10, 4/10 gap as we head now down the hill at this fast right-hander. All over the back of him. We think about a move there, but we don't make it, and good thing we didn't. He's gone off track anyway, and that's a free position. Worldy overtake there by me, and hopefully holds up that car behind us as well. And now we are released from the grasps of Rico. We can start to push onto the back of the cars ahead. Danny Boy just ahead of us, with Leroy another 4 seconds or so. So that's a pretty big gap to have formed already, but lots of spins and stuff going on, so I guess it makes sense the gaps would be pretty big. And oh, what's this? Is that a dead JMOT? It is a dead JMOT. You see there, he just gets a load of the curb on the entry to that corner, which is never going to end well, and then spins again for good measure. Poor guy. Just has to keep waiting for the traffic to go past, which is never fun. As now, not too much later in the race, maybe a minute later, you can see us now getting past Jemia, who has gone off the track there, which a free position is a free position. I'll take that every day of the week. Later in the race you see Leroy is also spun, so struggling on tyre wear are some of these cars. Luckily, I'm finding it okay. I don't think I've had a couple of moments, but I'm in 6th position just by staying alive. So if I can just keep it clean at this point, I should be in a good position. I just got to go lap by lap, get it to the pit window, and then I'm dandy. All I have to do is just not spin, and oh my god, we've spun. Oh no. What an awful disaster. That is just awful. God. Down to 11th now. Probably where we deserve to be on pure pace, but survival is part of these races, and it's doing so well. As you see, we adjust our traction control and ABS settings just to keep the car a bit more stable and reduce the load on the tyres, because they were taking an absolute beating through this race. The rear's just constantly boiling. But oh, a little bit more death there. I think that was Rico we just passed there. The McLaren that had been behind us, then ahead of us, then behind us again. He's now behind us again. And 1 hour, 2 minutes gone in this race. Heading to the final corner, and you can see just ahead of us, I think that's Leroy goes for a spin, and we just can't avoid him. Oh, I might be able to do better, but I wasn't quite paying attention to that part of the racetrack, so I didn't see him as early as I could have, I don't think. But probably should have gone around the outside, but oh well, it was only a couple seconds of damage, isn't really going to affect me too much. You can see the tyre wear starting to affect me now, as we've got the Audi of God knows who going down our outside, but we just defend the inside line. No way through for him. Does he try and get the cut back? No, he doesn't. We are now very much just trying to nurse our way to the pit window. If he goes for a dive bomb, I'm not challenging it, I don't think. But 52 minutes gone now. Jemmy behind us, who's spun maybe twice in this race already, and we have a little bit of a moment through the final corner there, which allows him up our inside. We do still have track position. Heading into the braking zone, and we just let him through. He's spun off behind me and he's caught me this quickly. He's going to be quicker. There's no point in defending it. We're up to 8th again, all the way up to 8th, just by virtue of not dying as badly as other people die. If we can continue that trend, we should be on for a good result. So now, just after we let him past, he spins. Oh, wow, that's just ungrateful, I think. I've gone through the effort of letting him past, and he's just spun it round in front of me. Disappointing. But at the halfway point, we come into the pits. A little bit cautious coming into the pits there. Definitely lost a bit of time. And can we make our pit box? No, we can't, because it's blocked off and we've missed it. It's taken us about half a year to realise that we are not getting lifted up by our crew. And now we're going to be in reverse gear for when they drop the car. Oh, it's gone horribly wrong. I think all in all, the spin and that's cost us at least like 20 seconds in this race, which is a pain, a massive pain. Seeing as something like 20 seconds, that is a huge margin. That's a second a lap for 20 laps for all you mathematicians out there. Now, 36 minutes, 10 minutes after the pit stop, Jemia is all over the back of us again. This guy has got some absolutely insane pace, or we've got some absolutely awful pace, but you can spin and then catch me within a matter of minutes. The 20-second pit stop probably didn't help, actually, coming to think of it, but he again is behind us coming down the straight, but there was no attempt into that corner. But I stand corrected, this is the same corner we let him past. Again, he's so much quicker than me, there's no point, and to be honest, he's probably just going to spin. And now we're seeing, we have a massive time gain on the cars ahead here, and we can see why there's a car off track, and another car spins. Lovely bit of avoidance by the Porsche driver here. And on board with the Mercedes now. Was he quite as lucky? The Ferrari doesn't know which way to go, nearly runs into the back of the Ferrari, does the Mercedes, but they both get away with it. Not without losing 3 or 4 seconds to yours truly though. And that was a massive bit of encouragement. I had sort of consigned myself to driving around on my own for 20 minutes, but as we dive bomb up the inside of Rico, I thought I was for position. You probably wouldn't have moved over so much, but beautiful move. As now the chase begins for Flap spun out 8th place. He's 5.5 seconds ahead of us. We've cut that down by a second on this lap, half a second on the next lap, and then another half a second on the next lap. We are closing him in leaps and bounds, as then there's another 7/10 gain on lap 34, and then a couple attempts on 35 as we now move on to our fastest lap of the race. And you can just see how much we gain on him through this lap. He is 3 seconds ahead of us. Just sit back and watch that gap come down. So, this fastest lap of the race to 46.6, and we managed to catch him by over a second that lap, but now cutting to the final sector of the race. The lead is finished and we are just chasing down Flat Spun Out. And is it going to be too little too late? We've done so well to catch him, but you can see there's just too much of a gap heading into the third to last corner. He has a little bit of a wiggle through there, but it's not going to be enough. Penultimate corner, does he die? He doesn't die, and heading towards the final corner now. No chance of a move really. Maybe a few more laps and we'd have been able to craft out a move, but we're going to have to settle for 9th and take the little bit of excitement that we got chasing down a car in a race that felt like it was over. 9th place, not too bad considering the pace just wasn't there. Gemia manages to beat us despite spinning 400 times this race and overtaking us even more. Roadhouse and Random Punchline in the Wetmobile, Lexus, sorry, winning by an entire minute on the rest of the field. Just crazy the power that car has. But well, you got to think, without our mistakes, could have been pushing for top 5 this race, but I'm sure most of the grid can say that they'd have done better without their mistakes, so oh well.